So this electromechanical telephone exchange from the 1960s behind me takes a fair amount of maintenance to keep going. Today I'm going to take you through some of the kind of day-to-day maintenance work that kind of goes on with this kind of thing. And I've said it before, but a museum full of obsolete technologies. The reason a lot of them went obsolete is because it cost so much in engineers' time to keep them running. So if you want to support us so we've got more time to work on this stuff, the Patreon link is down below in the description. It actually, as you're dialing, moves and connects you to all the telephones around the town and the city and the country. That's how the telephone system used to work. Around the back here you can see the absolute masses of wire that is required to connect this together and to all of the telephones around the museum. The first exchange in the UK, automatic exchange, was installed in 1912. This particular type of exchange is UAX13, which was used in a village, and they were decommissioned around about the 1990s. So today we're going to be concentrating on looking at these things here. This is the line finders, and it's by far and away the most complicated part of this exchange, but don't worry, we're going to walk through it step by step and it should be quite interesting. We've already done a video going a bit more in depth into these, but you don't need to know any of that really. I'll cover everything in this video. You might want to go check that out afterwards. We've also got videos going into other specific areas of this exchange, like the diverticles here. Unfortunately, because we've been so busy with other stuff, the maintenance of this has got a bit on top of us, and we've only got 3 line finders working on this particular rack. So we're going to look at some of the others and see what kind of problems they're having. So when I pick up the phone, remember that connects that electrical loop. That's the loop that you talk over. It carries the voice signals between the 2 telephones. And it's the line finder's job to find your line out of all the telephones that are connected into the exchange. It finds it, it connects it into the exchange, and you can dial and then connect to the other person's telephone who you want to speak to. So when I pick up the phone, you'll see this line finder go off searching for our line, and it's in an XY grid that it's searching across, a 10 up, 10 across, and that arc of contacts at the back there, that's called the bank. And when you pick up the phone, you'll see it in action. There you go, super fast. And when I put down the phone, it will disconnect the phone from the exchange. There you go. Here are the bank contacts here, and you can think of each one of these like a separate telephone in the village. So that one is now occupied on this call, but if somebody else wants to use the telephone exchange, they're going to have to go through another line finder. There's a thing down here called an allotter, which moves the priority onto the next line finder in the sequence. So if we pick up the phone here with Nikki, we should see, I think, this one. There you go. Yeah. So the capacity of the telephone exchange to handle calls is directly linked to how many line finders are working. Now we've got 3 A racks in this exchange, and each one of those racks has the space for 8 line finders. You'll notice that the 3 healthy ones have this red link in them that when plugged in, puts them into the circuit. Okay, so we have here one of the line finders. When it's selected by the allotter in operation and we pick up the line to it, it's not doing anything, it's not driving vertically. So we need to figure out why. This is a great resource. You can find this on the Dean Forest Railway Telecoms website. It's a walkthrough of how exactly all the circuits in the UAX13 work, and we can see that the vertical magnet that moves the bit up and down in here activates through the contacts of the H relay, which is this. So some of these contacts in here, when the H relay turns on, should activate the vertical magnet to move these bits. And the H relay itself is operated by one of the relays in the control set here, but since that control set is shared across all of the line finders and we have some other line finders that are working, we can be pretty sure that it's not a problem within the control set itself. So we're going to have to look at this H relay. Okay, so let's just watch the H relay when it does its thing. You can see there, it did move in slightly. It didn't move in very much. And if we watch the actual electrical contacts, how they should be switching over, particularly pay attention to this one over here. Just noticed it's not really making contact. Well, the armature, which is this bit of the relay, had been knocked out of place and was wonky, so we fixed that. And now it's switching over pretty nicely. But the switch is still not moving. You see there? Yeah. It just paused for a second, a little bit of quietness in the clicking and clacking, just until the TA relay, which is timed by the Z pulse, that yellow signal over there, timed it out and said, this one isn't working, pass the call to another working line finder. So yeah, it's not driving vertically, it's not actually moving anything. I normally find, without diving too deep into the circuitry stuff, that it's normally just a problem with this vertical marking bank. So it's got a wiper here and a set of contacts, and that's how it detects where this wiper is vertically. And it's normally to do just with the positioning and therefore timing of all of this stuff. So if you just adjust the screws, you can shift it up and down a bit. Let's see what it's doing. I've just moved it a little bit. There we go. That's a big improvement, isn't it? So, yeah. So it was trying to find it. Let's try again. Oh, sorry. It's been locked out by the control box. So if I disconnect the line and then pick it up again. Okay. So, yes. So it's going up. It's finding the level 3, which it should. It's driving across in the rotary motion, but it's not finding the pad that it wants. It's going all the way through the bank. Let's see again. Oh, sorry. This thing again. Okay, let's see it go all the way around in the rotary travel. Didn't do it at all that time. Okay, these things are a bit infuriating sometimes. Yeah, you see that? It went up, it found level 3, and then it went all the way around. Okay, so that's making me think that it's not seeing the... Well, it's definitely not seeing the P wire in this bank. So that's either an adjustment that needs to be done on the wipers or cleaning the banks. So let's take a little look closer at these wipers. That's these things here that move up and around the bank of contacts to make a connection on the top and also on the bottom there. So if we look at our maintenance document here, we should see they've got a certain amount of clearance, and they should be adjusted also so that they're landing at the right point on the pad on the bank. You can adjust that with this little tool here, which goes in this here, and you can adjust the wiper's position on the spindle shaft here. There's an example here of a wiper that is not meeting the requirements of the clearance, and you might want to go ahead and replace that. Luckily we've got a fair few replacements. They come in this blister packaging, so should be able to keep the exchange going for a little while yet. Okay, so the way to check the wipers, visually just going to check the clearance between them. That one's a little bit wide, but it should be okay. And so if I bring it up to around about level 5 or 6, so it's midway through the bank, then I want to check that it's looking all right in the horizontal position, and they seem to be pretty good. And if I drive it then into the bank, yeah, see, it's separating quite evenly, and it's sitting at the right position on the pad. It's on the first third of it, and check it as it comes through See there, yeah, it's on the right position of the pad there, and underneath. Yeah, they seem fine. They seem fine. So I'm going to move on and clean the bank. And while we're at it, we'll do the whole lot. First step is taking the actual line finder out. You've got to be very careful here to disconnect the vertical wiper here. Make sure that's all the way out of the way, and this is out of the way of the bank. Also make sure that these wipers are on their normal level, so that's they're not inside the bank, so when you take them out they're not going to get all bent. Then it's just a case of lifting it up and tilting it out. And there we go, there's the exposed bank contacts that we need to clean. Now there are various tools to do that with. If you're a telecoms engineer that worked with this kind of thing, you'll be very familiar with this. I'm not sure what the proper name for this tool is. It's like a sickle shape thing. You could tell me in the comments, but you'll see that that is the same radius as the bank contacts. What we're going to do is put some of this bank cleaning tape onto it. This stuff here. Somebody told me that this is a little bit unhealthy, like slightly carcinogenic. I don't know. Tell me in the comments if I shouldn't be using this stuff. You just feed it onto there. Like that. It's actually got a little hole in the side and you can just pull it out like that. It's a pretty good idea. I did hear a rumour of some people actually using the lids of these and putting them in a uniselector to make a wheel on the uniselector and racing the uniselectors along the exchange floor. I did actually give that a go and it's quite fun, and the video to that is on my YouTube channel. So if anybody out there feels up to the challenge, we can start a racing championship. There's a few different versions of this tool, but this one has a little wheel that you clamp down. So I'll just wind that around and then on over itself so it kind of grips a bit. Screw it down as tight as I can. Cut off that bit. There we go. We're going to use this to clean the bank. And you just put that into the bank there and then push down a bit onto the contact and swivel it around. And the bank cleaning tape itself is kind of impregnated with slightly abrasive cleaning fluid, and that's what does the cleaning. The contacts, as with like relay contacts and stuff, they're actually plated with precious metals. You wouldn't want to make the whole thing, the whole entire contact out of these metals, because they use stuff like palladium and platinum, all sorts of things, which just increases the electrical conductivity, but obviously it's fairly expensive. And so you would see in exchanges there would be, you know, a jar full of old relay contacts, because people used to scrape off the precious metals and sell them. And I can see that this is working. The tape itself is getting a bit dirty, so it's definitely taken off some dirt and grime. Come on, Ben, work harder. We do have a couple of other tools that we can use as well. We actually have an electric version of the bank cleaning tool. You can see it's the same thing here, but electrically operated. You'd be pretty thankful for that if you were working in the exchanges. We also have this, which we use the most, which is a bank cleaner, but for all of the levels within the banks, which is pretty amazing. You just put it in there and go like this. Let me show you. So it actually hooks into the cradle the exact same way that the line finder itself does. And you'll see here, there's a little bit here that interfaces with that, and it allows you to swivel it around. And then if you get these actual cleaning bits into the right position, you can get it inside of the bank and clean all of them at the same time. And I'll tell you, this is a lot easier than using this tool. And I'm just going to spray some contact cleaner in there, just for good measure, because these ones are particularly tarnished. If you've got any tips for cleaning these contacts in a non-destructive way, would be all ears in the comments. So now is a good time for me to plug the sample pack downloads that you can get from the museum website. Recordings of all of the machines around the museum. We've got drum machines, we've got the test equipment, we've got sounds from the actual telephone exchange itself, all of which you can chop up and use to make drum beats or put in your music in various different ways. Pretty cool. So check out the links below. You can also support us on Patreon, and there's loads of good stuff on the channel for you to watch already. Okay, let's take it out and let's give it a go. You can see in there, yeah, they're a fair bit dirtier now, so definitely done something. You can get replacement cleaner bits for these. Obviously, these are the kind of consumables that we're always looking for at the museum to replace. So, you know, if you have some of these knocking around in your shed, feel free to donate them to the museum so we can keep this big thing running. Okay, let's give it a go. Yes! We have another working line finder on this rack. So multiple problems on this one. Had to adjust the relay armature, had to move the vertical marking bank and give it all a nice little clean. Okay, we've got another line finder here, and quite clearly the wipers on the vertical marking bank are slightly out of calibration. They're a bit too far apart, aren't they? They've been bent at some point. So normally kind of what you would do in the exchange is just replace the whole wiper, but since they're, you know, a consumable commodity at the museum, we're trying to conserve as much of this for as long as possible. So I'm gonna try and see if I can salvage it, see if I can bend them back into shape. This is my tool of choice. Not going to try and film this one-handed. I'll catch up with you when I've done it. Well, there we go. I think I've salvaged that. So here is that selector. I've already looked at the other wipers and adjusted them, so they should be relatively okay. Let's see what it does. Nothing at all. Yeah, it was because there's no group selector in this position, and the line finder needs an associated group selector to work. Let's try it again. Okay, well, that's a good sign. It's driving vertically. You saw it going all the way up the bank, so it's not finding the marked level on the vertical marker. Let's take this out and reset it and do this again, so you can see it going all the way up. You see? So it should stop at level 3, but it's going all the way up. So that tells me that I need to adjust this position of this vertical marking bank, or the contact's dirty, but should be able to fix that fairly easily. Oh yeah, check it out. Here we go. Hey, it's done it. It's only gone and done it. If I dial a 6 here. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, we found another problem. Never ends, does it? Okay, that was just adjusting the wiper position. It was getting caught on the edge of the bank. Right, I was chasing the problem with this one, and it's just not finding the vertical mark. So I was adjusting the bank position. Let me show you what it's doing. There you go, so you're going all the way up. Adjusting the bank position, I was getting no joy. I was like, what is going on? What is going on? This, look, it's disconnected. This wire is disconnected to the vertical wiper, so I need to solder that back on. And we've got this soldering iron here with a little holder, which is likely made of asbestos, and that plugs directly into the 50-volt line in the exchange. Woohoo! Okay, here we go. Let's see if it works. Wahey! Now we've still got problems with the 2 line finders in these positions. If I take the phone off the hook, you can see waiting, and then this one will eventually take over the duties. The control boxes go, you're not working, okay, you take over. So yeah, not really sure. I mean, it's as if, I mean, they're not doing anything. They're not searching vertically. Nothing is happening. If you've got suggestions for that, write them down in the comments. That would be great. But we have 6 of the 8 now working. If I put these little links back in, way it's gone. This one is currently connected to the phone line, but if I put the phone down and pick it up again, we will see them each hunting for the phone line in the sequence that the allotter moves the priority between them. So if I put the phone down, there you go, the next one's going to pick up, and the next one, which is down here, and then the next one. Oh yeah, come on, can we make the full set? Did that one work? I didn't see that one doing its thing. What's going on? Oh, there's always one. Right, there you go. There you go. Connected. And if we're feeling brave enough, we can even do the routiner test down here. So we can press this down to level 3. And it's going to do an automatic test of all of them. Here we go. Oh yeah. So I think that was fairly successful. Let me know in the comments if you found that interesting. Let me know if you used to work on this stuff and what I can do better. Any tips are very welcome. I'm sure there are other people out there that would appreciate that as well. If you want to support us, there's a Patreon link down below where you can get loads of sweet perks, and you can actually get free downloads of all of the sample packs that I was talking about earlier, which is pretty cool. And you can come and play with this telephone exchange yourself. We're based down in Ramsgate, in Kent in the UK. So just a short hop on the train down from London. Come and visit. And we've got loads of other cool stuff as well, besides all this telephony exchange stuff. I'll play you out with the routiner test.